Good morning, everyone. My name is Lori Lytle, and I'll be hosting today's Thursday training. What we're going to do today is work on creating some templates, some master templates. So this way it'll make it easy for you to get through creating an Edge report. And I'd also, if you have anything that you want to learn, if you open up the question area in GoToMeeting, go ahead and place any kind of topic in there, and we can sort of address that after our templates. The one thing I did want to show you is if you have not signed up for it already, we have been running a winter workshop this past couple days. We have 12 workshops. They run about 30 minutes. And these are the topics that we have. So we just finished up this morning with watching the RateWatch mobile app. At noon, we're going to have the annual mortgage review. And you can see all the different other different types of topics we're going to talk about. I also encourage you to sign up for it. Go ahead and register for those classes, because even if you can't make it, you will get a playlist at the end, and it will have all those video recordings in there. So I just wanted to point that out if you have not done so already. Here's also our December calendar of events for our Tuesday coaching calls. And the way I got to this was just pressing our home screen in, or the help screen in Edge. It brings you to this page of our knowledge base. Here's the access of the monthly event calendar. And here's the access to our coaching call archive. So just want to point out that to you. Definitely want to see you on those winter trainings and get in there and learn Edge. So what we're going to do is start building out those templates. So if you want to join with me, go ahead and log into your Edge account. And I'm going to just do basic templates for cost to wait, some MI, things like that. So if you have a particular loan scenario that you do, create, let me know, put it in the question area, and I can show you how you can make a template based on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and log into your Edge account. And once you get in here, you'll be on the home screen. And with that, what we're going to do is develop those templates. And where those templates are going to be kept is in the View All button. So let's refer to the View All button first. So go ahead and click on that. And you'll see that the first thing you'll see on the screen is a search engine. So this was, as people started getting so many reports, it was nice to be able to search the reports instead of having them all displayed. So you do have the option to put in any of those fields for your search criteria, as well if it's a client or a prospect. Those are two buttons in the client, the very first screen of your Edge report. Or if it's an individual marketing. And again, these are radio buttons that are also within the first screen of your Edge report. So with that, I'm going to leave this all empty, and I'm going to run a search. So with that, it will provide me all the different reports that I've created. So you can see all the different ones that are listed here. I will go ahead and choose that gray arrow to the left, and then you'll notice all the various files that are listed below. So you can see also at the top, I have some double asterisk ones. And with that, that is a template that I've created, same with my purchase power. But we'll do is just develop your arsenal of templates and just create them in here. So the first thing what we want to do is, I'm going to go ahead and create one, and then we'll then build from the View All button. So let's go ahead and we'll do just the basic, the one we always show you, FHA versus conventional comparison. So if you start new client, and just think of ideas of what you want to be able to enter on that report, and that develops your template. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the number 1, and the reason why I'm putting the number 1 is to list it all at the very top of my searches when I go through the list. You'll notice I had double asterisk. That also places it at the top versus alpha order. But I'm using the number 1 instead of my asterisk because if you ever wanted to be able to do any kind of exporting with that, the asterisk has a little issues with being in a file name. So I'm going to start it with just a number 1, and I'm just going to type FHA versus conventional. So this way what will happen is anytime you have this style report, you can use this as your base and then create your report. So once we've done this one, I'll show you how you'll be able to use that template, and then we can make some more. So all I'm going to put in is my title. I'm going to keep it as marketing because I don't need all those additional fields. It's just asking for names. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to marketing. And that was one of that search engine, individual marketing, and then client or prospect. So in the search engine, these are what they're going after. And then I'm just going to put my friendly name, master template. Or actually, let's do this. I'm going to do number 1, and I'm going to type in master templates up here. And that way, all the ones that we're creating will be under this master template. And then in my friendly name field we're going to type in what this particular loan it is, or product we're creating. So I'm going to have a FHA versus conventional, and that's one of my reports in my master template. Then I'm going to advance the screen. I want to mark it as a purchase because we're going to create this for a purchase transaction. So let me go back one screen, and let's even put that in our description, purchase. Then I'm going to advance the screen. We have it marked as purchase. We don't know our property value. That's something you're going to key in, so we're going to leave this area empty. I'm going to leave the next 2 screens empty as well. They're not needed. Those are 2 screens that you can build out your database for that particular report. But now we want to set up our product. So with that, I'm going to put in my name for this product. I'm going to go ahead and type in FHA, 3.5% down. And then let's set this up for the FHA product. So I'm going to mark yes. And let's go ahead and show hands. How many people have already created their product templates? I can use one, or I could go ahead and develop it. So let me see it, raise a hands if you have product templates already created. I got 1. All right, Eric, you got some product templates, and that's all I see. Oh, there's a few more. Okay, Michael, Christine. Oh, great. We got a few, not as many. So I'm going to run through how to develop a template. So that's great that you guys have some templates in there. It does make it so much easier. If you're on an enterprise account, which means that your company has a contract with Mortgage Coach for a minimum of 10 LOs, they might have some product templates. So if you look at the drop down, you can see a list. Look for something FHA 3.5% down. This case, I'm just going to start scratch, and we'll develop that template as well as developing our whole report template. So you want to mark it yes for FHA, and then you want to go to the percentage field for your down payment and put in 3.5%. The next field I want defaulted is your term. So go ahead and place the term in there. And you think this isn't a lot of data that's populating through, but really once you get through, you're putting in your loan amount, you're putting in your rate. You'll see the next 2 screens are pretty much going to be filled out for you once we're done. So let's go ahead and advance to the next screen, and let's put in the defaults that are necessary here. So in our upfront MI, click on the percent field to open up that percentage field to put in 1.75 for your FHA factor, and I'm going to add it to my loan amount. So got that defaulted now. Other thing I want to default is my prepaid interest. So I'm going to go ahead and quote 15 days. Check with your company on what, if it's at 15 days you normally quote, maybe 30. I've seen even 5 and 10. So find out what it is. Go ahead and place that as your default. If you do specific points on certain loans, you could default that as well. So you can use this and place a point in here. You can also do, if you know this, it happens to be one that they get negative points here, rebate, you can put that in there too. So you can really develop out these templates on each of your individual products and what you're doing. So depending on how much time you want to invest in it, you could really go to town and really develop these templates. So I've talked to a couple people how we're talking about Josh Metal a couple weeks ago on his coaching call. He does just lump sum fees. He doesn't really get into the closing cost details. But so it depends on which way you want to go. You can enter, say, you normally estimate about $1,500 in APR fees, another $1,200 non-APR fees. You could go ahead and just be able to bulk sum those in here just like I have done here. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and use my closing cost details. So let's go ahead and use that instead. But I did want to show you this is an option just to lump sum. Now let's go into the closing cost details. And again, if you're on an enterprise account, you might already have some templates in here. So if you do, just go ahead and grab one and place it down. And what this is doing is creating this template. So you need to make a decision of, okay, I'm doing an FHA product. I want to have all my fee templates aligned in here. Or by developing this template, you can leave this empty, your template, your fees, and that way each time you just have to pick a fee template. So if you're originating in multiple states, it might be an idea that you don't put a fee template in here and just do the pick list and go by state. So really it's up to you how you want to be able to develop that. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to pull from a template for now. And if anyone wants me to show you how to develop a fee template, let me know. We could go ahead and do that after we're done with our templates here. So once you have your fee templates created, just go ahead and populate it down, the one that it's for. Say contributions. For me, it's not set. Not sure if I always am going to have a contribution on a loan, so I don't want to put a dollar amount. So that's an idea of what you can add and what not. If it's constant, a lot of times, you know, your fees, your admin and appraisal, they're always constant. They never change, really. So you could go ahead and those that are variable, just leave them as zeros. And I have talked to people where they like putting on purchase transactions the contribution. If anything, it sparks that conversation with the borrower. So what is a contribution? And then you can discuss that with the seller, you know, what potential could be in that area. So once you have your template in here, you would go ahead and apply to loan. So now with that template that we're developing, we'll have our fees in there as well. And now advance the screen, you definitely want to put in your monthly factors. So for the standard template for the FHA, 3.5% down, you want to go ahead and put in 1.35, calculate MI on balance, and put 360 in for the MI cutoff month, and this is going to take MI for the life of the loan. So with this template, you'll have this automatically set up to populate and calculate. And to make the screen even easier, place in your monthly costs here. You can either do it by a dollar amount if you want to estimate as a dollar, or just open up the percentage fields and place your figures in here. So I'm putting in 0.35 for my hazard and 1.25 as my taxes. This is what we quote in California, so that's why I have my products in here. So by developing this template, now let's go ahead and put in our escrows down here, 2 months hazard, 4 months taxes, and I want to make sure I have my 12 months premium marked. So by developing that template, you won't have to do anything in this data input screen because it'll already be calculated out for you. So even though we're doing a template, for those of you who have not created an FHA template, this is the time where you can create your individual templates as well. So once we just finished that FHA product, you just want to click on Save as Template, and then you could go ahead and place in the name of that product, your template. And what I'm doing, I would have left it just as my FHA 3.5% down. I placed the date because it's my training call and I want to be able to show that this is the template I created. So you don't really need a date in there. And then I'm pressing OK. So now from your drop downs, even if you don't use this particular product or report template, you do have it in your drop down for any type of individual FHA product. So you're set there. Now let's add our conventional product. So I'm going to add another product. And let's go ahead and label this one conventional, 5% down. And I want to point out there's no graphs or any kind of data that's appearing over toward the right. And it's because we have no loan amount. We don't have enough information to fill anything out. We're just developing our template. So coming through, I have conventional 5% down. So let's go ahead and open up my down payment and place in that 5%. If you're developing ones with 20% down, you could just go ahead and modify those and just default that down payment. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put a term in, 360. So I'm at this point done with my first screen on fields that are going to be defaulted. Advancing my screen, let's go ahead and put in 15 days for prepaid interest. And let's now go to my closing cost detail screen. And again, if enterprise account, you can always go ahead and identify the state, or if you're just developing your templates and originate multiple states, use this template for your testing. So you'll be able to use that drop down, identify what state, and then all the templates for that particular state will display. So moving on, let's go ahead and bring in conventional fees. So now I have this as well as part of that product template. So let's go ahead and remove that contribution and leave it as a 0. And I'm applying it to loan. And again, remember, anytime you create a fee template, if it's a new fee template, always save it as a template, rename it, place a state on there if you originate multiple states, and then press OK. I'm going to apply this to loan, and now let's go ahead and put in our monthly cost. So 0.35, 1.25. I got the 78% cutoff for my MI, and this is your call. If you have an average, you know the loans that you are originating. If you notice that my MI tends to be 0.87 each time, go ahead and place it in there. If not, just go ahead and you can leave it empty. I like placing a number in there because it will trigger you to change it if that MI factor is different. So now we have our two products, and that's all I'm going to have for this particular template. It's just my comparison from FHA to conventional. You also know your area. We do 60 months for the short term and 15 for the long year, 15 years. If you happen to know that your area, maybe it's better to do a short term based on 4 years versus 5, you can put this as part of your template. Whatever changes that you make in the screen will also appear on that template. And for those of you who don't know, the asterisk that we see at the bottom here, that is letting us know we're missing data. So if I click on that field, you'll see how the field is in red and I have 0 data. It's just the system's letting me know, hey, you have a field in red and there's missing data. So just want to be able to point out those. Same with that exclamation mark on your product. We don't have a loan amount, we don't have a rate. It's letting us know. And you'll see that exclamation mark if you're doing a VA with 0 down, because it does want you to make sure that you know you put 0 down. So just want to point that out. So now we're done with our template. So let's see what we have done. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our home screen, click on View All, do my search, and you'll see at the, where'd it go? There he is. Right here, my one master template. So if I click on that gray arrow, there's my first analysis here. So to use this to show you that process, so now I have a client before we build some other ones, so at least you can connect the dots here. Now I have a borrower, and they want to be able to, I'm going to do a comparison FHA to conventional. So I highlight it, I go over to the right, I could copy, and it will copy all the information, or I could do add analysis. You only want to do add analysis if for contact information. So the contact information will carry over but strip products. It's really great to use the add analysis in your partner section when you want to copy a partner report and carry the contact information of that realtor, their logo, their pictures, things like that. That is when you want to really use the add analysis button. But in this particular case, I want to copy the analysis because I want to make sure my products carry over. So if I click on copy analysis, I want to go into a new client. I have a new borrower, so I want to go ahead and create a new record for that borrower using my existing template. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and keep it here. If I left it on current client, it would then place this report under my master template file. So always remember, when you're starting using this template to create a new report, just click on new client here. I'm going to press OK, and you'll see how it copied that information over. If I put my mouse over that product, you can see I have both my products defaulted, and then I would just come in here and put in the information. So, Lori Lytle, I'm going to go ahead and do own TCA. I'm going to place a purchase here, advance my screen, see how it's default to purchase a new home. I could go ahead and place in that dollar amount, keep moving on. If I had time, I want to fill this out, I would go ahead and do that. It provides my debt to income ratio, puts the savings balance in my analysis screen for that reinvestment, and then it would be able to, just make the report more robust. But I just want to show you right now, just to be able to how to use that template we just built. So now that we came to the FHA, you'll see how the dollar amount carried over created my down payment. So all I have to do is put in my interest rate. Now let's move on to our fee screen, and you'll see how all the fees calculated accordingly. I got my upfront MI calculated, my prepaid escrows because I went ahead and defaulted the hazard insurance, taxes, as well as putting how many months. That defaulted for me. And then my closing cost fees. So this would be the case you would come in and change any of the variables. Say they are having a $500 contribution. You would go ahead and place it in there. Or if there's any other types of fees that need modifying, this is when you would do it. Then I apply to loan, advance the screen. All my monthly costs have been calculated out for me, so I don't have to do anything in this screen. Move on to my conventional loan, same thing, everything filled out for me. Let's go ahead and put in a 4.5% rate. Let's go ahead and put in that contribution of 500. Whoa, not 56, 500. Apply to loan. And then our monthly cost screen. So everything has been filled out. I'm going to go ahead and keep that 0.87%, and it will cut off once the LTV has reached 78%. And no one caught this. I did not put my number of months in. So I want to go ahead, because I don't want to have to do this each time. Let's go ahead and modify our template to include that. So we'll do that just shortly. But you see how quick it was? I was able to develop those two products. I can make my changes if I need to short-term, long-term. But basically, you know, and then put in any kind of contact information if you want. I'm going to put to be determined. They're looking in Irvine and in California. So now what I'm going to do is just take a look, put it on my quote date, and take a look at the report. So that's what we're building. We're doing this so it's easy for you just to put in those minor bits of data and have your report created. So that's one template that we'll be able to build for the FHA and conventional. Now if we go back to Edge, I'm going to go ahead and click on the home screen. Let's go into our view all. I'm going to put the number 1 in for my template and do a search. And see, you have my FHA versus conventional product. But before we build any more, let's go ahead and take this and modify it and put in our monthly costs. So I double clicked, it pulled up my report, hover my mouse over products, then my screens jump out, and I want to modify my conventional product. So let's go to the last screen, put in 2, 4, and collect 12 months premium. I'm advancing the screen left or right, that way my data will save, and then I'm done. So now that's been updated. So that's how you can correct them as well. So let's go ahead. I have the FHA versus conventional. Let's just create a cost of weight real quick. So to do that, go ahead and let's go into view all again. I'm putting the number 1. Actually, let's go ahead and just do search. Close out my MI, and we got my conventional purchases. So there's 2 ways of doing it. I showed you how you could copy analysis going into a new report versus add analysis. So what I want to do is use add analysis at this point, and what I did is highlighted my main file here with the folder, and I want to add analysis under that particular client. You could also click on FHA conventional, work the same way as well. And as soon as I click on add analysis, it's going to ask me, do I want to make another master template? And I say yes. So it kept the same title, so this way each report will go ahead and display under that one name. So this is a quick way of developing those. And this one I'm going to go ahead and do cost of weight. And the cost of weight program is really the same product. You just put in different interest rates. So again, it's just going to be a pretty basic template for you, but again, it saves time. So advancing our screen, I'm marking it as a purchase, leaving my dollar amount empty, and I'm going directly to products by just clicking on the product screen. And so we're going to go ahead and do a conventional fix with 5% down, or let's do 20 down. So that will be our first product here. Let's go ahead and place in our 20% down and our term of 360. Advance the screen, place your prepaid interest. Again, if you have points you want to add, pull in your fee template, apply it to the loan, make any kind of adjustments that you would like. Apply to loan. And you'll see that we haven't done anything with our prepaid escrows, how they're zeroed. So when you do, I don't know if you noticed that on the other template when it carried through, because we had all those monthly costs and the reserves added afterwards, that's what fills out that field for the prepaid fees. So I want to point that out. Let's go ahead and put in our hazard. Definitely saves your time. And again, you could put an estimate of your MI. Always remember to come in and update it depending on your loan amount and such. And then let's put in your reserves. And also, I know with the reserves, you do, it changes throughout the year. Sometimes you might have 4 months, you might have 6 months. Put in the basic one here. You can always update your templates accordingly, but you can always override that as well. So when you get to that point of year and that changes, you can always make that override. Now let's go ahead and do the weighting prop one. So let's go ahead and put in cost of weight. And the cost of weight is just to be able to show the borrower, hey, if you went today, this is the interest rate, but potentially if you end up waiting, say 4 months, 5 months, we don't know what the rates are. And if they increase, this is what they would look like. So it's a great educational on the power of the increase of the interest rate. So with that, let's do the exact same, but I'm going to show you a quicker way of doing this. We know the cost of weight is an exact product of our first ones. Oh, I'm going too fast. Sorry, Eric. Okay. Jeremy also has a question. How do you correct a template if need be? Can you identify which template? I did just create corrected a template for adding those reserves. So if it's correcting a fee template or a product template, let me know what that is, and I'll go ahead and answer that. And I apologize for talking too fast. I just get in the zone. So now with our second product, because this is the same, and you can use it for any type of products, even live loans, I'm going to use that copy from button. And what this is going to do is show me any of the products I've created. And I just also want to point out, it's great when you're having similar products, but if you're copying from a conventional to an FHA, unless you know those MI factors and can override it, it's best to use a product template versus copying from an existing file. And I'll show you that in a moment. So what I did is use my copy from button, and I'm choosing my conventional fixed 20% down. That then copied all my information over for me so I don't have to create it again. And when I advance my screen, I have all my fees, I have the prepaid interest and my closing cost details, and then as well as my monthly cost. So that's how that copy from button just mimics a product and copies it for you. So it reduces that time of creating reports. And it will be great because the next one we're going to do after this is creating a report for different down payments. Okay, product templates. Great, Jeremy. I'll get to that. So once you have it here, then we have our two products created. And again, you could go ahead and modify these areas, anything, property appreciation, if you want to go ahead and make sure that's 3% or whatever's in your area, that will then be part of the default. As you're creating these templates as well, you can also keep it as total interest MI, total net worth, or total principal paid, again, depending on what you're developing, so what type of report. So I'm going to keep it on total interest. So now I have my second one created. I'm going to create the third one and be done, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you where to modify those product and fee templates. So when you modify a master template which we're creating, you would do it in the View All button. So I'm going to click on View All and do a search. Go to my one master file. Now you see my cost of weight and my conventional purchase. Now what we want to do is different down payments. So with that, let's go ahead and add analysis. So you can see how even I clicked on this particular report. I'm clicking on Add Analysis. And it's saying you want to do it for the master template file, and I say yes. Again, everything just copied over for me. And this one, I'm going to do different down payments. So I'm going to say it's a conventional, and I'm going to do 5, 10, and 20% down payment. And you would want to be able to show the difference for you. So whatever is the average, 5, 10, 20, whatever it may be, that's what you would want to develop your report with. And this is great when the borrower knows they want to buy a house but not quite sure. You can also do different purchase prices where it's all creating a template where they all have 10% down, exact same product, but you're providing them different loan amounts when you use that template. So a lot of different things that you'll be able to do. So let's go ahead and create this one. It's going to be awfully quick to be able to do because we're going to use that copy from button I just showed you. So we're going to create 3 products. I'm going to make it as a purchase. No loan amount in this particular case. Get to our product screen. And I'm going to say conventional, fixed, 5% down. Let's see if it's easier to copy to. So with that, let's go ahead and create this one just to be able to show you. If I go into the copy from, we have nothing in our drop down because we're on our very first product. Let's go ahead and place 5% down in our term of 360. So that's all we're going to go ahead and put in this screen, advancing our screens, placing that prepaid interest. Go ahead and grab those closing cost details. I'm going to remove anything generic. You see how I also did a lender contribution there. Have it all placed in here. See how I was just able to remove a dollar amount. I also removed a fee by pressing that trash can. Again, this is your template that you're working with that you'd be able to add and modify. So do that. Apply to loan. Go ahead and apply to loan. Whoops. Just one moment. Let's go back a screen. And then now we have our fees attached to that template. Moving to our next one, we have our templates here. So let's go ahead and open up our hazard. Put in 0.35, 1.25. And again, because of MI, we definitely would need some on here, whatever factor may be. Go ahead and place that. Let's do our reserves, 2 months, 4 months, and collect 12 months premium. So now we have our 5% down created. Let's go ahead and do our 10% down. And that's what I used earlier is my copy button here. I copied my description because it's not over on the right for me to see it. And it's just a quick way for me to make sure they're all consistent. So I did just a copy paste. Now let's use that copy from button. Copy from the 5%, press OK. You can see how it defaulted that information over. And we already have our fees unless you need to modify it. And then we have our monthly costs. So that's how quick it was to set up our second product. And now we want to do our 20% down. And this product, we're going to remove the MI. So let's go ahead and add another product. And change it to 20% down. Copy from the conventional 5% down. Provide all that information. Thanks for watching, Jeremy. He just caught me. I didn't do my 10%. Okay, just one moment. I'll get that in a moment. Let's go ahead. See the fees carried over. These are the exact same products, so we won't need to change anything. And then you have your monthly costs, and we're going to go ahead and remove that MI. So now, as Jeremy caught out, I didn't change my down payment, so I'm going to hover over products and choose my 10% product and change it to 10. So there we go. Thank you, Jeremy. So now you have that one all set up, and again, you could go ahead and place any kind of information, change any of these items here. I might go into my original template because I noticed this is at 0, and if my appreciation rate's always 3, I want it copied to all my new templates. So I'm going to go ahead and modify that. Also, when you're creating these templates, you can, if it's an area you work with, you can always fill out the city and state if you want to, or just leave it empty and fill it in as you go. So let's go home real quick. Let's go to the view all, and I just want to fix that first product real quick, so to show you how to modify it. My first product was that FHA. So let's go ahead and double click on that. And I want to go to my analysis screen. Oh, it does have 3%. I'll have to go and check out why that's not copying. So that's something I'll have to look into. So just be able to show you that. Okay, so that's how you develop your master templates. So if you want any other type of master templates created to build in here, go ahead and put in the chat box, but I'm going to go in and work on our settings into modifying product and fee templates in a moment. So you would just keep adding, use that add analysis button, and just keep adding the types of scenarios. So if you develop one, you realize, hey, you know what, I'm using this one a lot. Develop a template from it and place it in here, and it'll, again, get you going through Edge a lot quicker. Okay, so Jeremy's question was how to, I went ahead and I modified a product template or created one. How do I modify it? I want to go ahead, say you want to change your hazard number of months. So click on your settings, and we have a product template tab. And there's two things. These templates that you see listed are the ones you've created, and they're your product templates. If you were on an enterprise account, possibly you have product and fee templates that are already created. And if that's the case, you will not see them in here. They're on the corporate account that gets populated in those drop downs. So if that's an instance, let me know, and I could show you how you could develop. You can't change those templates, but sometimes the templates that are set up on corporate level, your fees might be slightly different, or maybe your impound, your taxes and stuff, and you want to make sure you're going through quick and not having to make modifications. So I'd be able to show you how to take that template that corporate provided it, create your own individual template, and it'll be placed in this area here. So if that's something, if anyone's on an enterprise account wants to know that, please go ahead and place it in the chat box. So once we're in here, so let's go ahead, and this was my FHA product that we just saved a template as. You'll see in this screen here that you'll be able to make any kind of changes. So now maybe I'm in April and I'm actually collecting 6 months at that time. So you could just come in here and just make your changes really quick. If you forgot to put in that MI factor, you come in here, make any kind of changes necessary for your template, including those closing cost details. So if you had created a product template as you were creating a report, which I always suggest you do, because any type of new product, you always want to use it for the next time. So always save your products, always save your fees. It will have the loan amount when you save them, or your interest rate. So you just come in and clean it up. Just take the interest rate out. You could keep it, but to me, that's an important field to always make sure you have it right. So with that changing, I leave that empty. And then just go through the closing cost details. If you don't want your fees attached to that product template, you could go ahead and remove them in this area. And once you have them removed, you can apply the template. And at this point, when you use your product template, there's no fees attached, and then you would go in and use the drop down for your fees and pull your fees in that way. So it depends how you want to work your product template. Either have the fees incorporated within the product template or not, as I'm showing here. So that's how you go ahead, Jeremy, modifying any kind of product template. So let me show you how to do fee templates. And if you have any other kind of questions, go ahead and let me know, and I can go ahead and address them for the product templates. But this is where your fee templates are stored. And again, if you have fee templates for the enterprise account, they won't be shown here. But again, you can always save those templates when you're doing a report and develop your arsenal of templates here. So with that, you could just go ahead, and I'm just picking one here, and you can always modify it. So, you know, oh, I forgot to add my flood cert. So type in flood and place in that dollar amount. So you can always add to it. I've been finding out lately people have been increasing actually origination fee, and they're removing the tax service as a line item. So, you know, different things like that. They're increasing one, removing another. So that is something that you can also modify your fee templates with. So this is where you would do that. I also want to point out, if you want to develop your templates in the settings, you do have a new button to be able to create those. You can delete templates if you don't want to use them. So like in this one, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and press delete, and that would remove it from my list. Also, there's a save as button, and that's not actually saving the template, it's copying the template. So any product template, say you started with a conventional first, you want to develop a FHA template, so just go ahead and put in your descriptor here, identify the state if you choose to, and then now you have an additional template. You would make any kind of modifications. I'm removing my tax service, I could add additional fees, and now you have that template created. And the last button on this one is your fees button, and what that does is allow you to make any kind of modifications to the fee descriptions themselves. So if you had done a typo, you could come in here and correct it. And also with the fees, when you create a custom fee, you do have the option to use that percentage field based on the loan amount or based on the property value or sales price. So if you're working on your fee templates and you want to put in your doc stamps, title, things like that, and you want to use the percentage, but it's based off sales price, you can create a custom fee and make sure that percentage field is being off property value, which is sales price, or loan amount here. So I wanted to point that out to you. If you're not sure how to do an add custom fee, it's the green button in the lower right. You just add custom fee, put in your description, percentage off loan amount or property value, and then if you mark it if it's an APR or not. So that's how you can always add a custom fee, and you can always modify those through the fees button in the lower left hand side. Okay. And since we're in here, let's go ahead and touch base on report templates. So with this is where you would put in your disclosure text. And let's go ahead and just take a look at a report real quick. You'll see in the lower left hand corner the blue button that talks about disclosure. And this disclosure pops up also when the client first views the report. So if they put in a link, their disclosure on the mobile device as well as the desktop will go ahead and display, and they have to click I understand to get into the report. So we have generic information. This is a little bit custom. I've on my report here. We do have basic text that is in the account, but to modify it, or if your compliance says, hey, this needs updating, you do that in Edge. So with that, you see I have my text in here, and I actually did a font reduction, and then there's also an additional area that you can place the text as well. So that is to be able to modify your templates to make sure you have the correct and appropriate disclaimer language, disclosure language on your reports. Also, that each report, the total cost analysis, the seller buy down, the rent versus own, and the open house all have their own area. You can have different disclosure text on each one of those reports, so it's not the same for all. The sidebar text here, I just want to point this out. This is pretty much generic information. You would locate this in, if I go back to the report, that data is in your more info button on the right hand side. So if this is the area that you want to modify, you could do that in your settings. And then in Edge, the last three screens before we always tell you bypass them, that's also an area to modify this language as well. Short-term area, you can also change your defaults. Right now it's 5 and 15, but you can always change your defaults if you find out you want to show different numbers consistently. So that's our report templates. Want to be able to touch base with that before we went, since we did a lot with our report and our fee templates. And is there any, before I start going in and doing some other items, any other kind of questions you want me to address? The next one is where I'm going to go to is just being in an open house flyer, and how do you, I want to create a TCA with those same products. How can I do it? And that's what I'm going to talk about in a moment, unless anyone else has something you want me to cover. Okay. Okay, I don't see anything at this moment. So that's the other question is, since we're working on tools, we got the master template, and now we want to say you created your first open house flyer for Sally Realtor, and you want to also, send her a total cost analysis showing what the borrower is going to receive. So let's go ahead and go into this report, and let me show you how we can't physically copy from a partner to a client, and the reason for that is just different fields, different formats. So I'll show you a quick way of capturing the products as a template and then being able to use it for your total cost analysis. It does make it a lot quicker to be able to do something like that if you choose to send that out. Changing the, okay, Chris. And I think you're talking about a hyperlink. Chris is asking how about, okay, cool. I'll show you that in a moment. It's actually quite simple. You'll be amazed. So how do we do it? We've created a open house flyer. Let's check it out. We have our open house flyer that we created for Sally Realtor. And now I want to create a total cost analysis showing the 5, 10, and 20% down and have it match this open house flyer. So if I go into Edge, let's go ahead, and I'm hovering over my products and I'm going to my first product. With that, I'm going to go ahead and advance my screens to the very last screen, and I'm going to save it as a template. So with that, what I'm going to do is say open house flyer 1, so original. This is my first product of my open house flyer. I'm going to press OK, and let's do the same for product 2 and product 3. So now I'm going saving as template, open house flyer 2, press OK, and then advance to my third screen and save that one as well. Okay. What I also want to do is grab my property address. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And so I'm done with what I need to gather in my open house flyer. So let's now go and develop that total cost analysis. Haha. Okay, Jeremy. The open house flyers are in the lower area. So we have our reports are client facing and partner facing. And the partner facing will allow you to have dual branding, with the realtor as well as yourself. And to start that process off, creating a new one, it's just going into new partner, and that starts an open house flyer. So we do have quite a bit of video tutorials that will walk you through that process, but if you've been on any kind of Edge classes, it's the same functions that you do for total cost analysis as you do with an open house flyer. So if you need more information on that, let me know. And for those of you too, we do have an introduction to Edge class on Friday mornings at 9 a.m. And with that class, we actually go through every field for total cost analysis in the screen, really telling you and understanding what those fields and how they would work with you with the debt to income ratio and things like that. So I encourage you, if you're just getting familiar with Edge, jump on that call. You'll definitely learn quite a bit and how robust Edge is. So now I want to take that information from my open house flyer and create a new total cost. So I'm going to go ahead and click on new client. And I'm just going to say down payment option. And I'm going to place it as marketing. I also want to put in here as my friendly name, I want to put in Sally's name and then property address. So I know that this report, when I go into that search option and I'm looking at the different reports, my friendly name is going to tell me it's a report for Sally Realtor. You can put her last name and the street address. So once you start developing multiple open house flyers, you want to identify that which property it is for Sally. Moving on, I'm just purchasing a new home. I'll fill this out in a moment because I didn't even grab that purchase price in my head. And let's just go directly to our products. So now with our product, if you look in your drop down for your templates, and let's go to the bottom, you'll see all the 3 new templates I've just created. I'm going to pull in my open house flyer 1. And I didn't pull in the, okay, let's say that, I should have, oh, I can do it right here. My asking price is $400,000. So let's go ahead and put that in. And obviously, you'd be working with this. You would know what the property price would be. I just was grabbing the template. So place that in there. Go back to my product. Now the 400,000's in there. Everything's filling out appropriately. So I got my 4.5%. I move to the next screen. I have all my closing costs, and I have my monthly costs. So that's how you can go ahead and create a partner report to the total cost analysis. So let me show you now that we have that loan amount in. Let's create product 2, and it'll be a lot smoother. So let's add another product. Go ahead and go to our template. Create open house flyer 2. Actually, I want to go ahead and place in that loan amount. And go to our template, open house flyer 2. We got the 10% down, interest rate term, fees, monthly costs. At our third product, go to the, put that loan amount in, go to our templates, and put in that last one. So that is a quick way of just copying your product details from your open house flyer into a total cost analysis. Okay, so just a moment, Jeremy. I'll touch base with the open house flyer in just one moment. So lastly, let's go ahead and create a hyperlink. And this is going to be quite interesting. Let me go ahead and pull up a document. I don't have my email app. So say you had a link in your email. So I should have my email up. If you're working on a Mac, and what you would do is just hyperlink, and in a Mac it would have, I'm not in Word, it has an option, a button here for hyperlink, and as soon as you do that, it will go ahead, actually you would say, this report is for Lori Lytle. I want to embed my link behind this. So if I do a right click like that, and then on a Mac there's a button, it shows like a link, and you would go ahead and choose that, and then that will you would copy and paste the link in there. On a PC, you would just right click like that, and then they would have an option in here. Oh, here's one, hyperlink, and see how you would just go ahead and paste that link in there, press OK, and now if I clicked on that, you can see it has my link embedded. So that's how you create the hyperlink. It's great to have your emails to have their name on there, and the link behind it. So it's a good habit to start forming. We also have, if you go into our search engine and put the word hyperlink in here, a video tutorial will come up and be able to assist you. Also, just want to point out open house flyer. This will take you step by step for an open house flyer, but Jeremy, let me show you a couple items for that right now. So moving to Edge, I'm going to go ahead and go home. And with an open house flyer, you have a new partner. And I apologize, I'm going to go quite quickly through this a little bit. We don't have much time left, but I do want to be able to at least point this out to you. Let's go ahead and pull up Sally's report and start from the beginning. It's just very simple. So if you were starting a new report, you would just click on New Partner. With that, you would fill out their information. Always remember to put in that whoops, I put in my link, which sometimes it's good to have in here. But it's a good idea to place in the address in this area. So again, when you're copying reports for Sally using that ad analysis like we did with our templates, you want to identify the different ones to be able to pull them at a later time. Here's, you just go ahead and place in your property information. Again, details about that house. And then if you click on more features, you can identify different features of that home, as well as having additional custom features as well. Press OK. Advance the screen, you want to upload an image. One image currently prints on the open house flyer, but we do have an option to create the same record and create a seller buy down. And with that, you would be able to use a different picture on that. So that's a reason for different images, and eventually we'll have a carousel on the link that will rotate images. So just want to point that out. And then you do your products just like you would when you did a conventional product. You would put all that information in. You can see you've got 5, 10%, and then 20% down products. And then you come to your analysis screen here. Just if you needed to modify, actually you wouldn't need to modify anything in the screen. Now you would have the, hopefully if you already have that realtor or the first time, you would need to fill in all this information of your realtor, as well as upload the logo and headshot. So once you've done it once, you don't have to do this again because you can use that add analysis button. And then just keep advancing on. We want to do the open house flyer. It's a good screen to be in, so if you ever want to remove a product, remember, come to this screen. It's also in the total cost analysis, and you remove that button here, and then only those 2 products will appear on your report. Seller buy down, if you want to check that out, click on that one and proceed. It asks for a little bit of information, but you'll be able to see that. And also we have a generic one, report in your account if you're brand new, so you can always click on that and play around with it and take a look. We have a field for presentation and pricing and our payment notes. Payment notes, you always want to put something like estimated taxes and insurance are included in your payment. You could also put additional things, FICO score for qualifying, payment numbers, whatever you want to be able to. There is some extra room here, and I'll just put that on here. So you'll be able to see it on the report. And then you just select your image and you're pretty much done. So you want to preview it. And with that, so you get to see a report. You can see that the realtor's there. And what I want to do is show you really quick the mobile app. So if I click on share, I want to go ahead and place that ID. All I have to do is type in this ID on my app. So yeah, actually, let's go ahead and pull up the app while I'm talking. So let's go ahead and minimize it. Move this over. It's not moving. Oh, there it is. Okay, so follow along with me. So if you're ever working on these and you had another report up, you don't have to type everything in. It's great if you happen to have your email that goes directly to your device. You just click on the link and it will open. This is my iPad and I do not have it, so I'm taking a look at the number here. So I'm just typing in 16 OGWQ. And then I go ahead and press this button here and that initiates. I have to go ahead and type it all in. Okay, I erase my number. Sorry guys. Let's do it again, 16, and you notice this time I'm not typing in, it erased everything. I don't need everything in front of that to pull up my report. I just need that ID. 16 OGWQ. I want to make sure I put that number in right. And you see how that disclosure language we discussed, it appears first when the borrower looks at it, and then has that I understand. And what's nice with this, with the mobile device, you do have the hard copy, the desktop version. But it's great to be able to have this in a mobile device, an iPad, in the open house if you're there. And I want to point out there's a share button. So if you go ahead and upper right-hand corner here, you'll see it's in yellow. Let's go ahead and pull this one bigger. There's a share button. So a lot of people, it's habit, hard copy, they want to bring those to the flyer, but you're going to get a lot more impact if you use the link. And the reason why I say that is you can share the report so they don't have to physically take a copy, some they might want to, but this way you can email them or text them. And what's nice about that is that you're able to then capture their information. So in this case, I did a SMS, so you would be able to capture their phone number, type any information here, and you'll see how the link is already there ready to go. So that is a quick way of having that report, sending it. It's always good to have a generic report, a total cost analysis, even an open house flyer. Keep it on your mobile device, because if anytime you talk to someone, you could share that report. It has all your contact information and on the open house what you can develop for a realtor. So that's down and dirty real quick on an open house flyer. So if you want more information on that, Jeremy, just go ahead and let us know. You can always email us the support, and we can assist you there. So with that, everyone, we're hit the top of the hour, and we're done. And if there's anything specific you want to see on next week's call, let us know. We're here for you. We're just showing you good tips how to use Edge. But if there's specific scenarios you want to see, or how can I do this, email us at support. We'll incorporate it into our next week call. We're here for you, so definitely let us know what you need, what you want to learn. With that, everyone, thank you so much for attending today. Get into Edge, start developing those reports, and remember, email us at support with any questions. And if you have not already, sign up for the winter workshop. You could do it right there from the help button. You can also be able to see it through the calendar of events. On the Coaching Call archive, I also wanted to point out we're also posting those winter workshops right here. So as we're doing them, we'll post them on our site. So with that, everyone, thank you so much for attending, and enjoy your day.